All right, Seahawks fans, the 2021 season is officially over for the Seattle Seahawks. So we are moving on to next season. But before we start talking 2022, I do have one last question for you guys. And this is for you to tell me your favorite Seahawks game of 2021. Go to the comments right now. Let me know. There's probably only 7 to choose from, but which game are you picking? By the way, this is Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. I'm Megan Payton, and we are talking the rumors and news going around Seattle. First up, we are talking Pete Carroll. Now, of course, the rumors surrounding Pete Carroll have been ongoing pretty much since mid-season, I'd say, wondering whether or not he is going to remain in Seattle for 2022. Now, we haven't heard anything to make us believe that he is going to be fired. I do think that Pete Carroll will remain in Seattle next season. And of course, if you're not aware, today is what the NFL likes to call Black Monday. This is where a lot of organizations get rid of their head coach, GMs. They do a lot of the firing today. It's after the regular season if their team did not make the postseason, of course. Now, Pete Carroll, not on that list, was not fired today. Nothing indicating that he would be. He told us in a press conference yesterday after the game that he felt good about where he's at. Like we kind of knew here, whether you want him or you don't, Pete Carroll was not going to get fired after this season. There was just no way that the Seattle Seahawks organization was going to have a year like this and make a harsh decision that way. Now, of course, the other guy that everyone is wanting to know about is Russell Wilson. So these rumors keep coming up about Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson. And to be honest, it does seem a bit fabricated because nothing is showing us that this is true. Russell Wilson did say that, he pretty much plans on saying that. I'm going to show you his quote here in a sec. But first, let's look at what Pete Carroll said about Russell Wilson returning. He said, yeah, he's our quarterback. Of course, I do think that. Yes, I do think that he is on our team, meaning that he does absolutely expect Russell Wilson to return. Now, Russell Wilson gave a pretty straightforward answer saying, my goal is to win more Super Bowls and my plan is to win one here. It's that simple. So am I saying that there's a 0% chance that Russell Wilson leaves? Of course not. I do not think that something could happen. So I'm not going to be crazy, but I just don't think it's as big of a deal as the media is making it out to be. It does seem like Russell Wilson is going to stay in Seattle, and it seems like Pete Carroll will be too. They are both, in my opinion, going to be a part of the Seahawks organization next year. So to be honest, I'm getting a little tired of the Russell Wilson trade rumors. Until we have a real reason to believe it, I'm kind of getting over it. So I'll ask you guys this. It's our pinned comment today. Are you sick of the Russ trade rumors? I certainly am. So go to the comments right now, type Y for yes if you are over it, and type N for no if you think that there is something that we should be listening to. Now, again, Pete Carroll talking about the future. Not only does he believe that he is going to stay there, he starts talking about free agency for next year. He was asked in his radio interview today about what the Seahawks are going to do come up free agency, because they are one of the teams with the most cap space as they head into 2022. Now, Pete Carroll did make it clear that really they're not going to have as much spending money as you might think, because they're going to want to bring back a lot of guys. So Pete Carroll then, of course, went out and then said, hey, no, guys, we still are open to everything and obviously probably want to sign other guys on the market, but I do think that they will not have as much money as you think, because they are going to want to bring back a lot of their guys. I'm going to tell you about some of their free agents that are now officially free agents, actually, after the season. So they are going to be spending a lot of money if they want to bring back their current roster. Now, before I get into free agent talk, I do want to tell you guys about the sale going on over at Fanatics. So there are not many items left because you guys are going and buying the sale items, which is fantastic, but there are still 3 really good options, a few others, but these are my top 3. If you go to chatsports.com/Seahawks gear, the button up is still available. The throwback sweatshirt / long sleeve shirt is still there. There are still a few good options, but as I said, you guys are loving them, so you guys are going and buying them. Make sure you get in on this if you have not. Chatsports.com/Seahawks gear. All right, as I said, we are talking a little bit about the notable free agents. Now, the Seahawks are going to have to make a lot of decisions. Obviously, they're probably not bringing back every single guy, but you look at this list, and these are just some of them. This isn't all of the free agents, but these are just one of the more notable guys. Rashaad Penny, of course, Alex Collins, Gerald Everett, Duane Brown, Brandon Shell. This just alone, we look at this list. What are they going to do here? Rashaad Penny having a standout, call it month. I don't see how you don't bring him back. Alex Collins, kind of ever since Rashaad Penny started doing well, Alex Collins got hurt. We stopped kind of talking about him. What's their plan for Collins? Gerald Everett up and down this season, ended pretty well though. Duane Brown, there have been rumors about him leaving. However, he did say in his press conference today that he does want to stay in Seattle. Brandon Shell, I'd be surprised if they re-signed him. That's my early take on him. Then you move on to more guys. You've got Ethan Pocic, who really took on that center role this season. I don't know what their plan is, but he said again today in his press conference that he plans on staying in Seattle. A lot of these guys are fighting for their jobs. So today was kind of their last chance to make it known to the media, to the Seahawks organization, that they do want to stay. Now, the one guy on this list that kind of made it seem like he's open to going somewhere else was DJ Reed. DJ Reed did say today that, yes, he does want to end up in Seattle, but he said only if the price is right. He said Seattle doesn't have to be the highest paid offer, but at the same time, he does probably expect a raise. Now, Quandre Diggs, we're going to talk about his injury here in a sec, so make sure you stay tuned. But this is probably the most notable free agent, in my opinion. It's also going to be probably the most expensive guy to re-sign. So whether or not the Seahawks can do that, of course, they are paying Jamal Adams a ton of money. I'd love them to, but who knows? Ryan Neal, Al Woods, other guys on this list. So the Seahawks are going to be in a tough position as they enter 2022 with some hard decisions coming up. So I ask you right now, who do the Seahawks need to re-sign? I'm not telling you, hey, tell me every single guy they should bring back, but who is the one guy that they absolutely need back on their roster in 2022? Go to the comments. Let me know right now what you think. And of course, guys, the Seahawks season might be over, but as you know here at Seahawks Today, the videos are not stopping. Of course, there is still going to be more Seahawks news and rumors. We're going to talk trades. We're going to talk free agent. Of course, draft talk coming up. So make sure if you are not already, go to youtube.com/Seahawks TV, subscribe to our channel, hit the red button, make your life easier, turn on the notifications so you do not miss out on any of our Seahawks videos. Now, Quandre Diggs, of course, the talk of yesterday's game after a big win against the Cardinals, it did not come without a really, unfortunately, heartbreaking injury. Quandre Diggs breaking his right fibula and also dislocating his ankle. Tyler Lockett stayed with him in Arizona. They flew to Green Bay to hopefully, I believe, have surgery either today or tomorrow. Now, this to me was probably the most heartbreaking thing that could have happened to Quandre Diggs. It's just very unfortunate. As I just said, he is obviously going to be is now a free agent. And so you hate to see an injury like this happen. It's going to maybe be harder for him to play out the market, feel it out. I know he was expecting a big deal coming 2022. You can see the emotion and pain on his face. He was sobbing last night, and it's understandable. And it really starts to beg the question and makes you start to think about there's a reason why guys like to stand out and they don't want to participate and they are kind of fearing this injury because the NFL is a cold place. And unfortunately, an injury like this can determine the rest of your career. Now, he does seem like he's in at least some bit of positive spirits. He said on Twitter, God's plan is better than mine. Thankful always. I appreciate the love and support, and trust me, I'll be back. Now, more positive news was that Seahawks game day reporter Ian Furness, he said he spoke to Quandre Diggs and Tyler Lockett, who was with him, at the hotel late last night. They had just returned from the hospital and were scheduled to fly out to Green Bay for surgery. Diggs was more upbeat than I would have thought. He said the injury, the broken bone with hopefully no other issues, is a faster healing injury than something like an ACL or Achilles. He said the timetable as of last night, at least, was 3 to 5 months to be back. Take this for all what it is, but if surgery goes as expected, he will be back to full strength sooner than maybe it appeared on the field. Best of all for Diggs, this should not be an injury that hurts him in his upcoming free agency as, say, a 9 to 12-month injury would. And it says something about Tyler Lockett that he was there in Green Bay. So that is positive. 3 to 5 months is clearly a much more reasonable injury to recover from than, like he said, a 9 to 12 month. Now, of course, you can't be unrealistic. This will probably have some factor into, other teams' decisions if they were thinking about getting Quandre Diggs. How is he going to recover? So you hate to see it happen. The emotions on his face say it all. But obviously, we are sending our best to Quandre Diggs. And any injury updates that we get, we will keep you updated on. So again, if you have not subscribed, go to youtube.com/Seahawks TV. Make sure you are in the know with your favorite team in the NFC West.